Sanjay Ghosh from BSLP 4th semester, roll number 18. Now I am going to present e-learning materials on Dysarthria in terms of therapy strategies and counseling under supervision of Mr. Indranil Chatterjee, sir, lecturer in speech and hearing, RC Kolkata. First, introduction. Dysarthria is a Latin term which is composed of dys and arthria. Dys mean dysfunctional or impaired, or arthria means joint or vocal articulation. Dysarthria referred to a group of neurogenic speech disorder characterized by abnormalities in strength, speech range, steadiness, tone, or accuracy of movement required for breathing, phonatory, resonatory, articulatory, or prosodic aspects of speech production, given by Duffy 2013. Dysarthria is a motor speech disorder resulting from neurological injury of motor component of the motor speech system and is characterized by poor articulation of phonemes. Dysarthria can adversely affect intelligibility of speech, naturalness of speech, or both. It is important to note that intelligibility can be normal in some speakers with dysarthria. Dysarthria may also occur with other neurogenic language, cognitive, and swallowing disorder. Dysarthria, in case of dysarthria, the patient with dysarthria may affect intelligibility of speech and naturalness of speech. And it is also important to note that intelligibility can be normal in some speaker with dysarthria. Next, types of dysarthria. According to Duffy 2013, the primary types of dysarthria are as follows: flaccid, associated with disorder of the lower motor neuron system and oblique or muscle. Next, spastic, associated with bilateral disorders of the upper motor neuron system. Ataxic, associated with disorders of the cerebellar control circuit. Next, hypokinetic, associated with disorders of the basal ganglia control circuit. Next, hyperkinetic dysarthria associated with disorder of the basal ganglia control circuit. Unilateral upper motor neuron dysarthria associated with unilateral disorders of the upper motor neuron system. Mixed, various combination of dysarthria types. Example: spastic, ataxic, flaccid, spastic. Undetermined, perceptual features are consistent with a dysarthria but do not clearly fit into any of the identified dysarthria types. Next, cause. Many neurological illness, disease, and disorders, both acquired and congenital, may can cause of dysarthria. Listed below are example of some specific etiologies according to Duffy 2013. Congenital, that is cerebral palsy, GRE malformation, congenital suprabulbar palsy, Syrigomelia, degenerative disease like amyotrophic lateral sclerosis (ALS), Parkinson's disease, progressive supranuclear palsy, cerebral degeneration, corticobasal degeneration, multiple system atrophy, Friedreich ataxia, Huntington's disease, olivopontocerebellar atrophy, spinocerebellar ataxia, telangiectasia. Debilitating and inflammatory diseases like multiple sclerosis, encephalitis, associated autoimmune syndromes, meningitis, multifocal leukoencephalopathy, infectious disease like acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, that is AIDS, hyperzoster, infectious encephalopathy, central nervous system tuberculosis, poliomyelitis, neoplastic disease like central nervous system tumors, cerebellar or brainstem tumors, paraneoplastic cerebellar degeneration. Other neurologic conditions like hydrocephalus, Mage syndrome, myoclonic epilepsy, neurocytosis, radiation necrosis, etc. Toxic or metabolic disease like botulism, carbon monoxide poisoning, central pontine myelination, heavy metal or chemical toxicity, etc. Trauma, that is traumatic brain injury, chronic traumatic encephalopathy, neck trauma, neurological or post operative trauma, skull fracture, etc. Vascular disease is stroke, hemorrhagic or non-hemorrhagic, moyamoya disease, anoxic or hypoxic encephalopathy, etc. Causes and symptoms of dysarthria. Symptoms: slurred speech, slow speech, inability to speak louder than a whisper or speaking too loud, rapid speech that is difficult to understand, nasal, raspy or strained voice, uneven or abnormal speech rhythm, uneven speech volume, monotone speech, difficulty moving your tongue and facial muscle. Amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, it is cause. Next, we discuss for treatment of dysarthria. First goal, according to Rosenberg and A.L.A. Pontine, 1985, you have to choose first goals. The main goals should be restore, compensate, and adjust. First, restoration, that is lost functions, attempt to reduce impairments. That next, success is determined by etiology, course of the disease, type and severity of the disease. It says that full respiration of normal speech is not realistic treatment, especially when etiology is an acute one. It is very much important that the patient have to accept that the full restoration of normal speech is not realistic treatment. Uh, Next, compensate, that is promote use of residual function, essential as restoration of normal speech, modification of rate and prosody, the use of prosthetic device to amplify voice, reduce nasal airflow or pace the rate of speech, modifying the physical environment or behavior of people. That is basically for the enhance of speech and intelligibility. Adjust, reduce the need for cost function adjustments in the environment and lifestyle. Management has an important role to play in these adjustments, its primary goal being to maximize speech and communication functions so that adjustment in the environment is easier. Next, it is the we have discussed about the principle for speech treatment. First, drill is very essential for dysarthria treatment. Drill is the systematic practice of specially selected and ordered exercise given by Rosenberg and LaPontaine 1985. It implies repetitiveness and tedium, but most patients do not mind it if tasks are selected in ways that ensure success. Brief periods of practice distributed over times may be better than lengthy periods of must practice. In real practice, it says that brief period of practice is better than lengthy periods of must practice. Next, self learning is valuable. Discovering learning in which the individual determines how best to achieve goals may lead to better retention and generalization than learning that is highly promoted. A balance must be struck between clinician provided instruction and allowing patient to instruct themselves. Instruction generally should be fed as soon as possible. Next, consistent practice and variable practice are valuable. Consistent practice, like other therapy treatment, in case of dysarthria treatment also, consistent practice refers to practice on a range of related tasks such as slow rate on a mixture of single and multi-syllable words and sentences. Consistent practice is most effective in early stages of motor learning or when impairment is severe. It is very much important. Variable practice may be more valuable in prompting generalization and naturalness, and when recovery is sufficient to require that has responses to be distinguished from preceding ones. Next, of session. Treatment sessions should be frequent. Sessions should be organized to move from easy to more difficult tasks and to end with success. Error rates during treatment should be low, but not so low that the patient do not have to work to succeed. Treatment sessions are most effective when patient is not fatigued. Next, we have discussed about treatments that target speech production subsystem. First, respiration, making postural adjustment, example sitting upright to improve breath support for speech, inhaling deeply before onset of speech utterance known as prefatory inhalation, using optimal breath groups when speaking, that is for each breath speak only the number of syllables that can be comfortably produced, using expiratory muscle strength training to improve strength of the expiratory muscle. The individual blows into a pressure threshold device with enough effort to overcome preset threshold. Using inspiratory muscle strength training to improve strength of the inspiratory muscle to permit better sustained or repeated inspiration, using maximum vowel prolongation tasks to improve duration and loudness of speech, using control exhalation tasks, air is exhaled slowly over time to improve control of exhalation for speech, using non-speech tasks to improve subglottal air pressure and respiratory support, example blowing into a water glass manometer. Next, phonation. First, Lee Silverman treatment process in intensive program that targets high phonatory effort to improve loudness and intelligibility. Pitch limiting voice treatment. A program for increasing vowel loudness without increasing pitch. Effort closer technique to increase adductory forces of vocal folds. Example, pulling upward on chair seat, squeezing palms of hand together, improved timing of phonation. Example, initiating phonation at beginning of expiration. Next, articulation, phonetic placement technique, that is hands-on, descriptive technique, pictures technique to work on positioning of the mouth, tongue, lips or jaw during speech, phonetic derivation technique, non-speech to speech tasks such as blowing to oo, exaggerated articulation, over articulation to emphasize phonetic placement and increase precision, sometimes called clear speech, minimal contrast to emphasize sound contrast necessary to differentiate one phoneme from another, intelligibility drills in which the individual reads the words, phrases or sentences and attempts to repair content not understood by the listener. Next, resonance prosthetic management in collaboration with other disciplines, for example dentist, prosthodontist. Example include palatal lip prosthesis and nasal obturator or occluded nasal airflow. It is various device used for the treatment. First, portable delayed auditory feedback devices. This is an instrument is powerful assistive speaking devices. The advantage of the delayed auditory feedback devices over the facing board, it is portability and simplicity. Auditory feedback delay in range of 50 to 150 millisecond has been shown to produce a dramatic showing of speech among patients with Parkinson's disease for a period of at least 2 years. Pacing board, it is also important device. A pacing board is used for dysarthria patient suffering from dysarthria. A condition exhibits an abnormally fast rate of speech divided into 7 equally spaced dividers. The patient taps one section from left to right every time a syllable is pronounced, as the fingers cannot move as quickly. This should slow the rate of speech. Once a reduced rate is achieved using the board, the patient can count syllable on their fingers and eventually will be able to speak at a normal rate without any means of aid. Other treatment option like communication strategies, it is a variety of communication strategies can be used for individual with dysarthria and his or her communication partner to enhance communication when speech intelligibility or efficiency is reduced. These strategies can be used before, during or after other treatment approaches are implemented to improve or compensate for speech deficit. Speaker strategies, maintaining eye contact with the communication partner, preparing the communication partner by gaining his or her attention and introducing the topic of conversation before speaking, pointing and gesturing to help convey meaning, looking for signs that communication partner has or has not understood the message, and effectively using conversational repair strategies, example restating message in different words using gestures to help clarify message. Next, communication partner strategies include maintaining eye contact with speaker, being an active listener and making every effort to understand the speaker message, asking to clarification by asking specific question, providing feedback and encouragement, and optimizing the ability to hear the speaker and to see the speaker's visual communication cues, example by wearing prescribed hearing aids and glasses during conversations. Next, environmental modification. Environmental modification involves identifying optimal parameters of to enhance comprehensibility. These parameters include reducing background noise. Example: choose a quiet setting for conversation. In case of dyslexia, the conversation situation should be at quiet situation. Turn off TV, radio, and fans, ensuring that the environment has good lighting, improving proximity between the speaker and his or her communication partner, and using face-to-face setting for conversation. Augmentative alternative communication, AAC. AAC involves supplementing or replacing natural speech and oblique or writing. The two forms of AAC are unaided and aided. Unaided are manual sign, gestures, and finger spelling, and unaided are line drawings, pictures, communication board, tangible objects, speech generating devices. Other augmentative supports include voice amplifiers, artificial phonation devices, example electrolarynx device and intraoral devices, and oral prosthetics to reduce hypernasality. Medical or surgical intervention. Speech language pathologist may refer the individual to medical specialist to assess the appropriateness or need for medical intervention. This intervention can include, for example, pharyngeal augmentation, pharyngeal flap, or palatal flap to treat velopharyngeal incompetency and improve resonance. Laryngeal vocal fold augmentation, example autologous fat or collagen, laryngoplasty, or recurrent laryngeal nerve sectioning to improve phonation, and pharmacological management to relieve symptoms of the underlying neurologic condition, for example spasticity, tremor associated with underlying neurologic disease. Video, it is a video of behavioral therapy technique of dyslexia. It is a picture of anatomical substract of dysarthria, supraglottic level, jaw, lips, tongue, velum, pharynx, speech component altered, articulatory hypokinetic movements, monotony of pitch and loudness, imprecise consonants, short rushes of speech, rate of prosody, reduced stress, monotony of pitch and loudness, inappropriate silence, short rushes of speech, variable phonology, monotony of pitch and loudness, harsh voice quality, breathy voice, low pitch, respiratory reduced loudness, monotony of loudness. Thank you.